Hi everybody. I want to give you a brief version. So this is a short version of what a presentation should look like. I'm going to give you some tips in here. So this may not be as long as yours needs to be, but I'm going to give you a couple pointers based on the questions that I've received. So this sample final presentation, I'm going to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is a theory from the book, and this is a really important one for psychology. And so in this presentation, I'm going to give you three different things. One is I'm going to explain what Maslow's hierarchy of needs is. And second, I'm going to apply this theory to teachers and why teachers need to know what Maslow's hierarchy of needs is. And then finally, at the end, I'm going to present some research that talks about why teachers need to know this. So this is not just based on my opinion, it's based on facts that I found in some journal articles that I read about. So first, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a theory developed by Mr. Maslow, and he ordered our basic needs. In the textbook I read about that Maslow suggested that we go through certain things in life, and we have to get our basic needs met before we can feel good about ourselves and before we can get into a higher level of functioning. And so he said our basic needs are first, so food, water, shelter, safety. And the end goal is something called self-actualization. And Maslow, interestingly, said that there's very few people that actually reach self-actualization in the world and throughout history. Personally, I think that there are a lot more people that reach self-actualization, but maybe not to the extent that Maslow was originally theorizing. So here's a model. This is what Maslow's hierarchy of needs looks like, and this is a version I found online that I really liked. And it talks about this bottom level of a pyramid, and it focuses on food, water, and sleep. Some other charts that I've seen added things like sexual well-being or like basic health. Sometimes our health gets in the way of our higher level needs here. So physiological needs, basic. Next is safety. So you can't feel safe if you don't have food, water, and sleep, is what Maslow is saying. And then further up here, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. And I know it's a little blurry on here, but love and belonging, so if you don't feel safe where you are, or feeling steady and having a place to live, then finding friends and being in a relationship is going to be really difficult. And same thing here with esteem. So esteem is maybe where you might put performing well in school or performing well on tests. Because if you're really thinking about where you need to be in terms of where am I going to sleep tonight, how well are you really going to be able to focus on a test? Right? And this self-actualization, this last one up here, this theory is explaining this is when I feel my best. I feel like I control my life. I make my own destiny, and all of these other needs are met. So next, I'm going to talk about why teachers need to know what Maslow's hierarchy of needs is. For me as a counselor, I struggle a lot with this with some teachers. There's some teachers that really, really get it and they're willing to work with students, and then other teachers really don't understand that if you don't know what you're going to eat for dinner, why they can't pay attention in class or why kids are falling asleep sometimes. And so this article right here from Stern kind of backs up my thought. Only 50% of teachers report knowing about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and out of that 50%, only 15% of teachers report knowing how to adjust to a student who isn't getting their basic needs met. And so sometimes that's because they don't know about resources or they don't have resources in their school. But some common resources our teachers can go and use the school counselors and guidance counselors and refer kids to go and meet with a counselor. So the teacher can just focus on, having a relationship with this kid, but doing the academic piece, and the counselors can do that resource building piece. Also, school administration can be really helpful. And then the way this all comes together is an article by Smith. It's a few other authors there. The number one thing that students are needing is a positive adult role model in their life. And so schools that have mentoring programs help students to meet their basic needs and thus have higher academic success, right? So teachers that want students to perform better, we've got to get these basic level needs met, right? And one of these things is having positive people and adults in their life that are going to help connect them to the resources that they need and help be a problem solver in their life and create that relationship so a kid can come to them and say, hey, I don't eat breakfast or lunch every day, or breakfast is the only meal I get because I get it for free in school. So that positive connection can really help to shift people higher up through Maslow's hierarchy of needs because they're going to get their needs met more often. And so once you're done, you'll explain those three things. First, you're going to explain what is your theory. Tell me about it. Talk to me about it. Then you're going to talk about how this applies to the specific population. Are you going to talk, in this presentation, I gave you a brief one based on teachers. Are you going to talk to nurses about it? Are you going to talk to guidance counselors about it? Why is it important to them? And then the third thing that you'll layer in is the research that you found. What does the research say about these two things? How does this apply? Not based on just your opinion, but why is it important? And then the last slide you guys will you'll list your resources. These are short versions because I just didn't get a chance to write out APA citations for these articles, but you guys know what they need to look like. You guys did them in your midterm papers, so that shouldn't be a problem. As you go back here, I have in-text citations. I would like you to use those for your research, so you're having like bulleted points. And that shows me what you are looking up. If you have any other questions, I'd be happy to talk to you guys. Just reach out. Thank you.